The buck stops here. It's just four little words, but they carry so much weight. They hold the secret to both incredible leadership and, believe it or not, personal freedom. So today, we're going to dig in and really explore what it means to take radical responsibility for your own life. So, you've definitely heard this phrase before, right? But have you ever really stopped to think about where it comes from and what it actually means? It's so much more than just a cool slogan for a desk plaque. It's a whole philosophy for how to lead and, really, how to live. All right, to get to the bottom of this, we need to take a little trip back in time, right into the Oval Office, because this whole thing became famous thanks to a sign that sat on the desk of President Harry S. Truman. What's so fascinating is what this simple sign really meant for Truman. I mean, think about it. As president, he had this immense power. But with that power came the cold, hard fact that he was the end of the line, the final say. For every single decision, good or bad, there was nobody else to point the finger at. The buck, the blame, the responsibility, it all stopped right there. But here's the really cool part. This idea of just completely owning your decisions, it's not some 20th century American invention, not by a long shot. It has this much, much deeper echo. For that, we got to jump all the way back to ancient Rome. Check this out. Almost 2,000 years before Truman, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote this. Isn't that wild? He's making the exact same point. He's saying, look, if we just focus on the things we actually have control over, our own choices, then blaming anyone or anything else, whether it's the gods or other people, just doesn't make any sense. And that right there, that is the core of Stoic philosophy. This power of our own choice. You can think of it as your own personal Oval Office. It's that space inside your head where you and only you get to decide on your attitude and your response to whatever life throws at you. So, let's bring this home. Let's apply this massive idea to our own lives. I mean, what would happen if you really decided to be the president of your life? It's so easy to pass the buck, isn't it? I was late because of traffic, the project failed because my teammate didn't do their part. We just shift the blame. But what if you just stopped? What if you were the final authority? It all boils down to understanding this one critical distinction. Look, we can't control what happens out in the world. We can't control what other people do, and we definitely can't change the past. But we have total control over our attitude, our response, and the choices we make. That's our sphere of control. That's our turf. So how do we actually do this? Well, you can think of it as a simple three-step plan. First, you have to truly internalize this attitude. Just believe it deep down. The buck stops with me. Second, you have to acknowledge where your real power is. It's not in controlling everything, but in your ability to choose your response. And finally, number 3, you just have to accept it. There's no one else to pass the buck to. It's yours. Now, I know this might sound a little limiting at first, but it's actually the complete opposite. It's so empowering. Focusing on what you can control isn't about giving up. It's about being smart with your energy. And trust me, the power to control your own attitude and your own responses, that is more than enough to navigate anything. Okay, so let's tie all of this together. What's the one big, crucial takeaway we need from President Truman and the ancient Stoics? Here's the fundamental truth. In your job, in your relationships, in your own personal goals, that chain of responsibility for your choices, your attitude, your actions, it doesn't just keep going. It ends. It ends with us, with you. And that leaves us with one final thought to really chew on. Just take a second and look at your own life, right now. Where have you been passing the buck? Today, right now, what's one part of your life where you're going to put up that sign and decide once and for all that the buck stops with you?